I'm just going to muse for a few minutes on the subject of the show Different Strokes, which was on in the early 80s. I never really watched it that much. I was aware of it as a phenomenon. You know, a lot of my friends and classmates watched it and thought that Gary Coleman was really cool and funny and you know what you're talking about. But I wanted to just share some thoughts about why they wouldn't be able to make Different Strokes today. First of all, there's the subject of the elderly and wealthy white man adopting two black kids from the hood. That would, I think people's thoughts are immediately, it's strange to say, but the early 80s were actually a more innocent time. I didn't think of it as a particularly innocent time at the time, even though I was just a lad. But back then, you know, you people would hear about an old man adopting two young kids, and they would just, I think they would be more inclined to just say, oh, well, he's just a nice man who wants to help two underprivileged youngsters. Whereas today it'd be like, what's that old pervert doing? Also, of course, there'd be the whole, well, he's a white man, he can't understand black kids. That would be much more prevalent today. They would never allow for that to happen. There would be all kinds of alarms blaring about would it be, appropriation or some shit? I don't know. I don't even know what they call it now. They call it something different when they're offended by it, but it's the same damn thing. It registers the same. It registers as wah 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 in my ears. But so yeah, Mr. Drummond. Other thoughts. Mr. Drummond, was he kind of a little fruity, or was he just hoity-toity? You know, he's on old. But I don't know. And he wore sweaters and stuff, and like today, again, we're more jaundiced, and we think, you know, that guy's a perv. What's he doing with these two young kids from the hood? Why does he want to share their company? Why does he want them to come and live with him? This skanky old perv. But I'm wondering, I'm trying to remember because I didn't know the show that well. I'm wondering, was Mr. Drummond a widower? He could not have been a bachelor. He could not have been somebody who just never married, because that would be like, what does that say about a guy who just never got married and now he wants to have two young black kids live in his house? What's going on here? I think even then there would have to be some account made for that. Also, though, if he were a widower, wouldn't he have grown kids, like grown children of his own who were in their 20s and 30s, who would maybe stop by occasionally? I don't remember that ever happening on the show. So, very strange. The past is just a different country, even pop culturally speaking. You look at a show like this, which was supposed to be a socially relevant show in so many ways, and today it would be seen as patronizing and racist, and there'd be all kinds of questions raised about their caretaker, their adopted father or foster father. Was he their foster father, or did he actually adopt them? I don't know. I mean, one of the Willis was like 22 or something in real life. I'm joking, but he looked to be rather, on the older side of teendom. Maybe when they started out, he was younger looking. I'm just picturing him, looking pretty much college age. And of course, the bitterly ironic thing that was going on was that Todd Bridges, that was his name, the actor's name, he was actually getting molested at the time, and I remember that was featured on the documentary An Open Secret. So he was really getting molested, and at the same by somebody involved with the show, and all those pervs in the biz. And at the same time, the show puts out this really weird, very special episode where Arnold, that's the character played by Gary Coleman, and some friend of his, get get groomed by this gross old man who's the station manager of WKRP in Cincinnati. He gets them to come over to his house and shows them dirty magazines and says, "Hey, let's take off our clothes and just play naked," or something like that. Just all this, and it's like this. If you watch this show, this particular very special Different Strokes Now, it's very uncomfortable to watch. The jokes are uncomfortable. The people, the studio audience laughs at weird things. It's just really, really strange. Hang on a second.
I can help you.
Yes, I just like one biscuit with butter, and that's it.
Alrighty. First one, last one, I'm sorry.
Thank you. So yeah, it's kind of, all those things are very odd, and of course it ends on a sobering note because we're talking about the entertainment industry. I began on a whimsical note, talking about pop culture stuff, but it seems like right now, I don't know, ever since I became more aware of what really goes on in the world, especially in the upper echelons, they how much cognitive dissonance does that generate if you're part of the show, and you're molesting a kid who's on the show, and that then you spearhead or have something to do with the making of an episode in which child abuse is the subject, or attempted child abuse. Watch out for child abusers, or that's a subject. That just shows these people are not human. These people have reptilian brains. They're just not. They don't think and feel the way that most of us do. And scum ascends to the top. What you talking about, Andy? Bring us back to the levity for the end of this segment. Thanks for watching.